Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June 24th, 2022. How the heck are you? If you are here for today, you probably know it's been a shitty one, but we're going to get into why it has been so shitty. But first, foremost, let's talk about me. Do a little me time, me corner. You know, depression is annoying, right? You do your best and you try to wake up and say, "Hey, it's a new day. I'm gonna hit it running." And maybe you get to like 10 o'clock or whatever, and the next thing you know, you're just crying. You're just sad. But it is what it is. I do like to equate it to like it's just kind of like being sick, except you just don't know when you're gonna stop feeling sick. I would say today is a better day. So, we're taking it in stride. Yes, 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 we are. Despite all the things that are happening in life, overall things are good, personally. So, trying to, hold on to that. Let's see. I do have, I guess it's not really much of a food corner, honestly. I haven't really eaten anything wild. I saw this advertisement. B-Dubs is always tripping, right? They have like a new thing where they more or less put their little pieces of chicken in a hot dog bun and sauced it up and said, "Oh, here you go. Here's some new thing, new app just dropped." I don't know. I saw it. I laughed. I reshared it, and I said, "I'm just gonna make that." So I made that for dinner. I got another little ASMR taste test situation coming up right now. I got a cold brew in a can from Starbucks. Now, I've only had a cold brew one time so far from Starbucks. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I believe I've talked about it on the pod. Felt like disarming a bomb to get it ordered, but I got it ordered. It was good. So I'm going to try this one in the can real quick, and then we can get into business. So it says to shake. It says gently shake can once, pop open, and pour hard into a cold glass for maximum enjoyment. Jeez. Ooh, what a description. I guess I'll try to follow the instructions, huh? So give it a little shake. We'll shake and bake. Then pop open. Oh shit. Like we almost had an incident there. Alright, let's try to pour hard. That feels hard. I feel like I'm getting a hard pour. Okay. Alright. Okay, I just one shot that. It was vanilla sweet cream. It was okay. I feel like a lot of the Starbucks canned bottle drinks always suffer for being better than like average things, but not nearly as good as what you're gonna get when you go to the store. So we'll give it a 5 out of 10. 10 being the best. Let's see here. If you heard that can opening, that was the Milwaukee's best, but that'll happen later. All right, let's get into it. Not much on the Ukraine side of things. I will hit this header real quick and then kind of keep it moving. We'll talk a little bit about it. Ukraine set to quit ruined Severodonetsk as Russians close in. I got this from Reuters. There's the burp. But essentially, we've been talking about it. It doesn't look good. It looks like the area of Severodonetsk is more or less fallen. I can never get this name right, but I believe it's Azov or Aztov. It's different from the steelworks. It's a chemical plant, but essentially they have set up for a retreat. I think there might still be people who are just like refusing to leave or held up. They can't. I don't know. But more or less, they are surrounded on all sides by Russians. They're kind of closing in. So it's good that, a retreat has been issued, and I believe, troops are making their way out. Obviously, though, it's not good because, losing more territory is just not good. And it's been established that Ukraine is trying to do the exact opposite of that. They say they're not trying to negotiate land or anything of the sort. It is all or nothing for them. We either get all of Ukraine, push them all the way out, or we're not coming to the table again. It's more or less the kind of verbiage that's been used. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we'll see. But other than that, not too many updates on Ukraine, Russia, as of this week from what I've seen. So I wanted to move into some of the other stuff because we are definitely packed to the gills here in America with bullshit. A lot of bullshit. Mainly from the Supreme Court. I mean, a lot of this stuff's kind of been like a long time coming in a way. I really feel like this week has been a hard look at how conservative our justice system is, our government is. It's really fucking sad because I don't believe that the thinking conscience of people of this country is conservative. I do believe that we have a liberal mindset, but at the same time, when it comes to like getting out and voting, or even and not just voting in the big elections, obviously voting in the locals, but also just in terms of really what floats to the top in terms of like big thinking. I mean, that's why Fox News is so popular, because people will sit down and watch that as opposed to, you know, whatever the fuck CNN's trying to cook up. But let's just get into it. Let's just get into this one because we more or less got a doubleheader from the Supreme Court. CNN Politics, what the Supreme Court's new gun rights ruling means. So they dropped a couple of ruling decisions, all of them more or less 6-3, the ones that we're talking about, in favor. It's like the conservative favored, conservative majority, the supercharged majority. So they favored striking down a type of gun carry restriction embraced only by 6 states. So, in essence, it's really going to rework now how courts are going to look at gun just restrictions. How are we going to handle them? How should they be set up? They're just really in jeopardy now of more or less just being stripped down to more or less as nothing as possible, so that you can just carry a gun and have it be the Wild Wild West. You know, essentially we're just going to be all playing Destiny, and we're all just going to have that thing on our hip. We're all going to carry big irons. It's all going to be Fallout 4 for us, or Fallout New Vegas, I guess, in this situation. But, let's see. Clarence Thomas. What a guy. He's really, really spearheading the charge here. He did a lot of the dissents. A lot of the conversation was written off of, like, you know, just what he wanted to say. So, let's see. They talk about history a lot here in this article. I mean, and not just this article, but like what they were saying in their dissertation, whatever it's called. But he wanted to keep it consistent with this nation's historical tradition, and comply with the Second Amendment's predictions. He wrote in an assertion that puts in jeopardy any restriction that does not have historical parallel to the nation's founding. It's really murky and weird to me how they're angling this. A lot of the times, I feel like the conservative approach is to say, okay, look at the Constitution. Read the Constitution word for word, comma to comma. Okay, now we've done that. Now I'm going to tell you what I think that means. And they tell you that that is the words of the Constitution, and we should stick just to that. So they make you read it, they tell you your opinion, they throw you back to it and say that's what it says. Even though in these situations, there's no, like you're talking about muskets and handguns and militias, and they're like, no, not really. Okay, like that's part of it, but then that's sectioned off. It's not the same thing. Okay, now we're talking about the people. They should be able to bear arms, not just at home, wherever they want. One of the big states that's affected by this is New York. They have a pretty rigid gun law system. There was a case, though, the District of Columbia, I guess this is D.C., but it does, like, branch out from D.C. also to New York. You know, they have similar, I guess, gun laws. But it was a landmark ruling where the Supreme Court established that the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to bear arms. Let's see. And it also more or less sets up like a two-step legal approach. And more or less that was okay. But now Thomas is saying, despite the popularity of this two-step approach, it is one step too many. So he more or less is just saying, like, nah, you should just be allowed to carry a gun. Like, there shouldn't be any hold up in this. Just have at it. And that's a big problem because, like, that sounds cool if you just want to be a gun-toting American and you're like, yeah, my rights, pew, 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 pew. It feels good, I bet. There's an upside in your mind for this. But, like, you're not just giving good guys with guns. You're giving everyone guns. Not that I give a fucking shit about law enforcement, but you're making it even harder for them to protect us now because everyone has a pistol or whatever, and they don't have to, like, who even knows what the regulations are going to be when this all shakes out. I am glad, though, to hear Governor Hochul, sorry. She made a statement more or less saying, like, look, our legal teams are going to get together. We're going to come up with as much state legislation as we can to protect you guys, to protect New York. If the Supreme Court's not going to do it, we will. We will do our best. But that's going to be so sticky, you know? Courts are going to rule one way or the other, but then it can be appealed, bumped up, and eventually just gets bumped all the way up, back up to this Supreme Court supermajority where they go, yeah, no, you're right, you should be allowed. And then then it's squashed. So things will definitely be icky and sticky there. Let's see. I do want to kind of just go over so you get the lay of the land. The conservative justices, I don't know the first names, but it has their last names here. Oh, at least I know some of them. John Roberts, I believe. Clarence Thomas. Alito, I don't remember his first name. Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. Kavanaugh and Barrett are like the new ones. Those are like the two hard picks from Trump. I think he actually had a third pick as well. Like, I think that got held off because, like, they wouldn't let Obama get a pick or something like that. Like, they're like, nah. Like, Mitch McConnell was like, nah, say less. So he was able to, like, hold it off, and then, like, Trump got into office, and then he got, like, more or less 3 picks, which drastically affects this whole situation a lot. I think there's sometimes where I kind of kid myself and I go, well, you know, we've always kind of been conservative in SCOTUS, so, like, maybe this is kind of inevitable, but, like, key members have changed with other members who are now way more right-leaning. They're way more apt to want to make a change. And someone like Thomas is going ballistic about it. He loves this, you know. We'll get into it in the other part of this, but I think this is definitely just the beginning for a lot of shit, and I'm not just talking guns. On the other side, the liberal justices who are dissenting, we have Stephen Breyer, who's going to be replaced by Kenyatta Brown Jackson. We've covered that. Justice Sotomayor, and then there is Kagan, who I actually know nothing about, so sorry about that. I think it's Sotomayor. Oh, I don't know. I just said the name again, but I can't remember her first name. So those are overall. Those are the 10 justices, or the 9 justices. I'm sorry. Yes, 9. And that's who we're going to be talking about for this article and the next. They also talk about, let's see, some like safe places or restrictions, sensitive places. So Thomas and he's really light about how he says might here. But his opinion touched on how courts might view one type of restriction. Restrictions on bringing firearms into sensitive places, as defenders of New York's law pointed to that as a concern, motivating its limits on public carry. So, I mean, we're talking like hospitals, churches, courthouses. Actually, they don't say churches. Let's see, legal assemblies, polling places, and courthouses. But Thomas is really like, I don't really want to like get too stuck here on that, because he I love how they use this word, constitutionally problematic. So essentially, he really wants to focus on this quote unquote history bullshit. And like, if constitutionally, historically, you're allowed to carry a gun here or there, then you should be allowed to do that now. It doesn't matter. Nothing is quote unquote changed according to his logic, at least as I'm interpreting it. So that's cool. That's really cute. But yeah, Justice Stephen Breyer, in his dissent, said that the history only approach is both legally flawed and ripe with practical problems, which I agree with. I think that we are living in a world that was not made, like, it's not the same world that was made by our founding fathers. You understand? Like, it's evolved so far ahead. And the idea of just saying, like, yeah, you can carry a gun just like your fathers of old, that's not the same weapon. Like, and I get it. You want to feel safe. Like, I'm sure it sucks to be on a subway in the middle of the night. You're coming home from work. You're tired. And there's, like, a group of people there. And, yeah, there's supposed to be a cop or police there to protect you. And they're not. And that's scary. And you want something to protect yourself. I get it. But, like, I just do not feel the way of just arming everyone is the way to do it and it's going to solve it. I think it's going to make more problems for people. And it's just going to be more of a cleanup for our law enforcement and people like that, and not actually saving any lives. I do love the quote that Breyer has here. Laws addressing repeating crossbows, lansgays, dirks, dags, skinnies, stilladders, and other ancient weapons will be of little help to courts confronting modern problems. And as technological progress pushes our society ever further beyond the bounds of the framers' imaginations, attempts at an analogical reasoning will become increasingly tortured. In short, a standard that relies solely on history is unjustifiable and unworkable. So I'm fucking with that. I'm with that. I wish we could have had like 3 more people who had the same kind of thought process as this, so we wouldn't be here today. But here we fucking are, huh? It's crazy. It's crazy what happens when you vote for who you vote for. Also, we'll get into it too, how I'm also not okay with Biden. I know some people, in leftist infighting today, people were like, oh, you voted for Biden, you're also the problem, brother. Like, oh, okay, yeah, let's blame more people who really have barely any or little control, but all right, let me give that chip off my shoulder. I'm off this, I've cooked it, I want to move on to the next bit. We're still talking about the Supreme Court. This is where it gets worse. Got this from the AP, Associated Press. Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade. States can ban abortion. And they're on it. Also, there is a handy chart or a little map if you want to see like where abortions remain legal for now. And then they also have where abortions are potentially illegal or soon to be illegal. And then where abortion is illegal. And just to run that back, it's currently legal for now in 35 states. It is potentially illegal or will be illegal in 11. And in 5 states, it is already illegal. I know we've covered Oklahoma. I believe Texas is there as well in that category. So, I mean, it definitely went down. I mean, we've talked from, speaking of Politico, from the leak. What is it? From Anton Scalia. There it is. There's the name. Came back to me now. Essentially, we already knew what was going to happen, and they held frame. They didn't buck. Whoever made the leak, whether it was to strengthen the resolve, that worked, or whether it was to bring attention so that people could protest and maybe make a change, that really didn't work. So here we are. It's Friday. I got the push notification. They said, fuck women's rights, which I think is crazy as fuck. I think some people maybe thought that the idea was like, oh, we're going to stretch this out. We're going to dangle the little treat in front of conservatives so they can get out and vote, and they'll always keep voting, and it's not a big deal. Because at the end of the day, abortion is popular. And I don't mean that as yeah, cool, abortion, let's have one. I mean, people, if you ask them on the street, there's 1 out of 10 people who are going to say, you know what? Yeah, you should be allowed to have an abortion. Just period. It should be legal where I am. And that's what is said. But once again, Thomas said, fuck that. Stay strapped, but don't have no babies. Also, I love, too, that it's also in this article. I'm going to be a little sporadic, but Thomas doesn't just want abortion banned. He went off and did a little solo dissension, and he wanted to really push to say, look, this is just the beginning. I urge my colleagues to push back against same-sex marriage, contraception, and I think there was another one. There was a third one. But he, like I said, he's just teeing up. He's just getting started. Oh, it's Samuel Alito. Sorry, I got the names wrong. Sorry guys. Sorry. Got my little corrections corner in early, huh? But Samuel Alito is the judge, the justice. Neil Gorsuch? Jesus Christ, these guys have great names. Love that for them. But shit is gross. Let me get their names. I got them here now. So Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan. There we go. They are the 2 other liberal justices. Jeez, let me peruse this article and see what else I want to talk about on here. Joe Biden did, say some words. He's really sad. He's like, yeah, we got to fix this. You got to get out and vote, Jack. You got to make sure that you get out and vote so that we can do something about it. Bro, you could do something right now. I don't exactly know, but at least do some kind of injunction, some kind of stoppage, rally people for real, anything. But, he's not. He's just not. I don't even want to go and say oh, this is the Catholic in him. I really think this is just some more moderate ass bullshit that he just does. I will definitely concede that we did not get the president of our dreams. That is for sure. To kind of go back to what I was talking about a little bit ago. Yeah, this is what the lesser of 2 evils looks like. And sadly, it's fucking still gross. But we are dealing with the ramifications of what happens when you do vote for a conservative president and then he just gets to have more or less full reign. He gets to go full tilt, sure enough, there were some changes that led to a little bit more Democratic Congress. Cool, sweet, but they just didn't get anything done. They didn't do anything. So, here we are bearing this fucking strange fruit. Here we go. Yeah, he doesn't like same-sex marriage. Oh, gay sex. Why say gay? Why say it this way? Because I know he did word it this way, where he was just like, you can't have no same-sex marriage, you can't have no gay sex and contraception. Which means he doesn't want you to have condoms, he doesn't want you to have an IUD, because that belongs to babies, and you guys need to have the babies if you're going to fuck. I don't fucking know. And it's weird. The incels are obviously out. They're out. These pro-lifers are out, dude. One, because they're just happy. They want to celebrate, which is fucking gross. Babies that you'll never know, babies you'll never see, that you never fucking give a shit about are going to get born, and people are going to go through hell to have them. They might even fucking die, but who cares? For your God, right? Whatever. I don't know, man. Whatever reason. These motherfucking Mr. Get No Bitches. Motherfuckers have so much shit to say today. It's wild. But also, from just the pro-life angle, I've heard it before, I hear it now. They really are just getting started. This is only the beginning, because they know that the fight is not over. People are out in the streets protesting already, who are pro-choice. They know that there are going to be potential workarounds, like people trying to travel. So you're most likely going to see states rally to make the kind of bounty ban kind of bullshit where it's your neighbor can snitch on you for having an abortion if they find out. So that way you can't even go to a place where it's legal, have an abortion, come back. Like, nah, you're going to potentially get sued for it. I mean, shit just makes me fucking sick. I will admit, I think that one of the bigger problems that we've had is that we leaned on the Roe v. Wade situation. Like, we leaned on the verdict of that case for so long. We didn't put any more laws, any real protections out there. We didn't push our lawmakers to do that. Our lawmakers obviously didn't want to make any fucking waves because they don't fucking care. So it slid, and it slid and slid and slid and slid. And now they get to use it for a talking point. So that's neat. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that, Miss Pelosi. God, I don't know. Shit makes me very upset, very mad. I'm sure we'll be covering it more. I'm sure there'll be more to say. But I just wanted to get that out there, really get my 2 cents on it. Let's see, in some more political news, we have from the USA Today, House passes historic gun safety bill, sends reform package to Biden to become law. So, it's really weird with the situation with the Supreme Court saying what they said. It really puts this in jeopardy, even though this bill is such a lukewarm, easy pass bullshit thing to do. Like, it's still not out of the woods, even though it's technically out of the woods to be signed. But they were able to get 29 Republicans to vote for it, which I was surprised to hear, especially because the conservatives, who are really sticking to the script here, are really trying to lash out at anyone and everyone who has a hand on this bill who's willing to support it. And it's not even like the bill does that much, which is why it's such a lukewarm thing. They do have a boyfriend law, like a boyfriend loophole thing, where essentially if you have abused your partner, then like you can't have a gun. Like once that's on your jacket, no dice. So like if you have, and obviously it was hard, I guess, to work out what that meant in terms of the boyfriend part. Like, is it just a boyfriend? Is it a husband? Is it just a live-in partner? Is it an intimate roommate? Who have you? Whatever. What is the limit? What is the level? So that was something that they needed to work out. Also, incentivizing, which is important. The key word here is incentivizing, not mandating red flag laws, which red flag laws, I believe, can be good. Essentially, when you have like situations of like mental health issues or anything like that can potentially pop up, that really is a red flag. It stops you from getting a gun. It gets logged, it's tracked. A gun vendor can see this and go, oh, yeah, this is no good. No, thank you. You can't sell it to you, man. Sorry. Can't sell it to you, ma'am. Sorry. Also, there enhanced background checks for young buyers, more money for school security and mental health services. I do like the mental health service part. The money for school security, it depends. I'm willing to say maybe you can have like, more. I hate this sentence. But like what? Like having more police on campus, I guess, if you can afford it. The problem is a lot of these times the bill gets put on a school to have this set up. So, you're telling these schools, hey, we need you to have security. In fact, if you don't have security, we'll fine you. Like, okay, well, we can't afford it. Can you give us someone? And they're like, no, you got to pay them yourself. So it's a very limited thing, which then naturally says, okay, well, we have to have security. What are we going to do? And next thing you know, you're arming teachers. In Ohio, Governor DeWine has signed a bill more or less saying like, hey, you just need a day's worth of training. So like 24 hours worth of training, and you can come to school with a gun in your pants or purse, what have you, ready to defend the school, ready to become a armed security force. Neato, because that's what you signed up for. You don't have enough pens and pencils and fucking shit for your kids, but like, get that Glock ready. So the school security part's a little bit for me. I don't know. It just depends on how it shakes out where you are, I think. But the mental health, I'm okay with. I think that's good. The boyfriend loophole, I think that's good. Red flag laws are good. Like I said, the incentivizing part is dumb. It should be made. It should be mandated. But no, 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 no. And even the Republicans who are really spearheading it, people who have lost children in their state, they're like, look, I'm not going to take away people's right to own an AR. And it's like, brother, what do you mean? That AR leveled a school in your fucking city, in your fucking state. Like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to me. I get it. I'm not 100% right on this kind of shit. I have my opinion, whatever. I just think it's fucking silly to say that you give a shit when you really don't. You really don't. You're doing the bare minimum for these people. Your constituents. Let's see. Anything else I want to say here before I move on to our last bit? Huh? Maybe? No? Yeah, we're good. We're good. Fuck it. It's smoke break time. Okay. Oop. Okay. And we're back. Lastly, I wanted to cover some big news. Well, maybe not big to me. I'm not really in high school or anything, so really not affecting me. Also, I never had a real big Juul phase, so this is really going over my head, but, whatever. Let's talk about it. Got it from Reuters. Federal Appeals Court puts FDA ban on Juul e-cigarette sales on hold. So this is like the newest update from it, but essentially this week the FDA was like, we're banning Juul cigarettes. Also, they are limiting the amount of like nicotine or addictive elements in tobacco, I believe, as well. But Juul kind of hit center stage because they're just trying to ban it outright. Like it said in the title, it got put on hold. They said, let's see, the company appealed the health agency's order and said the ban would cause it irreparable harm. The ban would cause it irreparable harm. Okay, it says it. I thought, when I initially read it, I thought it was going to say it would cause irreparable harm. As in, like, the world, like, people's heads are going to explode because they can't get their Juuls. But essentially, it's bad news for Juul. I do like that every place I've read this so far, it starts with this sentence here. The once red-hot vape company has also been working with its legal advisors on options that include a possible bankruptcy filing if it is unable to get relief from the government's ban. Essentially just a red-hot vape company. I'm like, why does it refer to as red-hot vape company? I don't know. I think it's cute. I personally have never done a Juul pod before, but I've had friends who are like interested, like they're into them, they've done them. I feel like they never really stay on them too long. Also, I would concede that they aren't good for you. they're very bad. I mean, I don't want popcorn lung. I don't know about you. So, at the same time though, obviously I'm a smoker. I'm a midnight toker. So I try not to sit there and try to infringe on anyone. Plus, I've had a cigarette or two. So, I've done that. But, I do get the desire to regulate this kind of stuff, at least especially get it out of the hands of children. I know that they've had made bans before on like the flavoring of the Juul. Like they had to like go down to like a basic flavor, I guess. They couldn't have like cool mango or whatever. So we'll try to keep you posted on that as well as it develops. Though I imagine finding this kind of ban is going to be hard. Like, they're really just more or less saying, hey, like, please don't do this because we will not financially recover from this. And I guess they're like, well, we'll think about it. And then it says somewhere like how much time it gives them, but it's not much time. So, it's a smoke 'em if you got 'em situation. You feel me? But that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, if you didn't enjoy, you're still the best. I still love you, and I get it. But if you'd like to, you can donate $1 to the Patreon. That is patreon.com/Isaiah News. $1 gets you a wholesome thank you from me. I'll be like, oh, thank you. Like once I see it. $5 or more will get you a shout out on the podcast. I'll say your name. I'll just tell the world how much I love you. Like the wonderful, talented, amazing Stephanie Renee. She's great. She's been a longtime donator. Podcast wouldn't be running without people like her. So thank you. But yeah, get you a shout out. Also, like I said, I'll talk about whatever you want. Like if you have some crazy cool news story you wanted to tell me, that's the best way to do it. Also, any feedback, you can hit me up on gmail.com/IsaiahNews1. That's dry and I rarely check it, but every once in a while I do. But other than that, that's about it. In terms of how the rest of the weekend's going to go, in terms of the drops, I'm not sure. I have work issues. I wouldn't say it's an issue. I'm working. It's whatever. But, either I'll hit it up tomorrow on another episode or on Sunday or what have you. We'll see what the news looks like. We'll see how I'm feeling. But hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.